Hey guys, it's Dave from the Brain Bulwark, and today I'm bringing you a presentation about Noopept. And this is one of the first presentations we'll do on nootropics, but I do plan to cover most of the fundamental nootropics that I recommend and even some of the more advanced ones. So as you can see here, I consider this one of the best complementary nootropics. I wouldn't consider it as fundamental as piracetam or theanine or something like that. But I do think for those who have their basic stack in order, this is a great introduction to a little bit more of an advanced stack when you're looking to take things to the next level safely. So first we'll go over how Noopept does what it does. And what it does is basically increase your endogenous, which just means inside your body, the amount of cyclo-L-propylglycine. And what that does is it causes your body to produce more of these two specific proteins, and these are nerve growth factor and brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And these proteins, it's a complex process, but basically what they do is they allow the existing neurons to survive better, they allow growth of new ones, and they allow cells to differentiate into neurons and synapses. This is called neurogenesis, which is big. It's a huge health benefit, and that's a large part of the reason why I prefer Noopept to others when you're looking to build your stack. As you can see on the bottom, it does have a solid bioavailability, which means how much actually reaches its target receptors or penetration through the blood-brain barrier, which is making it take effect, essentially. And just to break this down, who prefer this to be a little bit more simple and digestible. Alright? So basically, as I mentioned, Noopept allows your brain to build more neurons, keep its existing ones, and also increase the connection between existing neurons, which we would call a neural network. And a bonus feature is it actually has an anxiolytic effect, which means it's able to reduce anxiety in an individual. And this is huge because a lot of people, their perceived amount of anxiety can cripple their ability to perform cognitive tasks. So for us, being able to reduce anxiety on top of a supported cognitive benefit is fantastic, because it means we're attacking our goal from multiple angles and aspects, and that's really what we always strive to do. Alright, so what those two proteins ultimately lead to is an increase in one's ability to learn new information and form new memories. And when we talk about forming new memories, there's three main aspects that we consider. That's processing the information initially, when you're initially exposed to novel information, consolidating that information in the hippocampus, which we're familiar with from the sleep deprivation presentation, and then being able to recollect and recall this information when needed in the future. So these two proteins, NGF and BDNF, help with all of these steps, and that, on top of the anxiolytic effect, really solidifies Noopept's position in any nootropic stack. Alright? So, are there any potential sides? We know obviously there's health benefits, and there's big cognitive enhancement abilities here, but are there any downsides? Alright, and as you can see, we are in luck. Almost every research I've gone through, all of it, has said no perceived side effects were present in test subjects. And when I did happen to stumble across side effects, it was something like a headache, and it happened to be like a mega dose study. So for our case, that's an ideal scenario, because that means when we're recommending it with responsible amounts, which is going to be 20 to 30 milligrams per dose, and most of us are not considered to be in an elderly demographic, we're going to be free and clear of any potential side effects. Alright? So as far as what we'll add into a stack, nootropic makes the cut. And just to top it off, as you can see on the bottom, I wanted to point it out because a lot of people are concerned with, do I have to cycle this supplement? Am I going to build up a tolerance and it's going to lose its effectiveness? And for the most part, you don't have to cycle Noopept, but I'm always a little weary of recommending that because it can't hurt to take 2 or 3 months just for the sake of doing it. I mean, just to let your body flush out any buildup or just to give it a rest. You don't want to allow any possibility of tolerance, which has shown, as you can see, it has shown up around 56 days in some research. So for our sake, every 3 months, to save some money, you take 1 or 2 months, even 3 months off. And then you have peace of mind. You don't have to worry about anything. You go back on, you get that a nice initial burst of feeling enhanced, and we move forward again. All right? So at this point, I'm really hoping you guys are on the same page as me. Noopept absolutely belongs in any nootropic stack as long as you're familiar with the fundamentals already. I do recommend starting out a little more basic than Noopept, maybe piracetam and theanine and caffeine, some of the stacks we talk about at the Brain Bulwark in our home study course. But once you've nailed down the basics, Noopept is one of the first steps I look to take to bring it up a notch. So as far as retailers for Noopept, these are the two favorites of mine. One's Peak Nootropics. I've spoken with Cal, who works there, I believe is the owner. And this is one of my favorite places to go to, but they do tend to have a limited selection. So for Noopept, you're going to be in luck because they have it. They have COAs available, which is basically third-party testing for those of you that don't know, and it makes sure that the source meets a certain standard. It's of a particular quality. So since they post COAs on each product page, it gives a nice sense of confidence when you're purchasing from them. And as I said, the price, it's very competitive. The other retailer that I tend to support because I've had good experience both contacting them and talking back and forth with the owner to make sure they're doing their due diligence with quality is Health Supplement Wholesalers. And you're going to see when you visit that their selection is much more vast. You're going to have everything from vitamins and minerals to testosterone stacks, but for us on the left you're just going to click the cognitive button and that'll bring you to their selection. And you can see they have Noopept powder, they have the caps, and they're going to have basically everything we're going to need moving forward as far as nootropics go. So definitely check them out. And you can also consider Amazon. I don't want to leave Amazon out because they do tend to have everything you could want. It's just that there's a lot of just so-so retailers using Amazon when it comes to nootropics, and I haven't contacted them directly, so I don't want to send people that are following me to sources that I can't attest to their quality and their sources and everything else and the safety of their materials. So for now, I've been in touch with both of these companies, so I'm going to try and recommend only places that I personally would order from with confidence. So you can dabble with Amazon, but I'd do so knowing it's at your own risk. All right? So that pretty much sums it up for Noopept. I hope at this point you see the value and maybe you can write it down on a list to try in the future. Maybe you're at a point where you're looking to kind of take your nootropic stack to a little bit more of an advanced stage. And Noopept, in my mind, is a good nootropic to consider for such a move. All right. So we've gone over the safety, its effectiveness, where to buy it, and if you want more free content, whether it's on sleep or meditation, I'm pumping out a lot of stuff. I have a home study course called the Brain Bulwark, and if you sign up to the newsletter below, you can get some more information about that, and you'll also be sent to a site where you're going to have tons of slideshow presentations, YouTube videos on all the different aspects of what we consider vital to being a productive individual. So go ahead, sign up, check that out. Email me if you have any questions at questions@thebrainbulwark.com, and I look forward to hearing feedback in the future. All right, have a good day.